On this video, we're going to talk about those moments during the holiday season when suddenly we find ourselves not very jolly, not very happy. We might feel downright sad, bewildered. Insert your adjective here. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to bookend that with how we may choose to invite joy into those moments especially. I won't promise you a holiday just like you had your best holiday ever. What I will offer, though, is a means to feeling better when you leave this Vlogmas episode than when you got here. Fair enough? Fair enough. Welcome to Vlogmas 14. I'm Julie Jordan Scott, and I have a story to tell you today based on something that started in our video yesterday at the Jefferson Diner. You may have seen that I was indeed writing in this very journal. I took a prompt from it, or I took a prompt to the page, and I wrote for 5 minutes based upon Chris talking about the 5 for 5 brain dump that I used to offer on Periscope and also in my Facebook group, which is called Let Your Words Flow Creative Community. The prompt that I wrote to was, how comfortable am I allowing my true voice to be heard? How comfortable am I allowing my true voice to be heard? And what came off the end of my pen, it surprised me. And later in the day, after I posted my Vlogmas and I was feeling so excited, I felt that joy dribble away. I want to talk about that. Good morning, Vlogmas from snowy Northwest New Jersey. It's day 14. This is how things looked last night when it was just starting to snow. Santa and crew were doing well. Everything was happy. It was a light snow. I still was not happy about driving in it, but it seemed like it would be okay when I woke up and, be church and life as usual, happy-go-lucky snow time. But then here it is this morning. Wow. More snow than I've seen, I think, in the morning than I've seen any morning since I've lived here. Quite remarkable. So when I did my journaling, I was slightly dismayed to find that there are times, even now, when I don't feel like I use my authentic voice. And I had not yet taken the time to grieve for the years, in fact, that my voice was silenced, oftentimes by fear, by exhaustion from all that I was doing, because I had a lot of life happened in the years before I started my channel. By the way, I just found out today in my YouTube Unwrapped, 19 years ago was when I started this channel. I thought it was 17, 19 years ago. And during that time, a lot of life happened, a lot of which wasn't very pleasant for me. I just need to be honest, because when we're authentic, we are honest. So I went through a lot of hell. Ugh. I won't catalog it all here, but recognizing that my authentic voice was squelched, oftentimes because I felt like I needed to protect myself. And that's what journaling is often for. It is to feel those feelings that have been left unfelt. Because if we're not honest with ourselves, how can we be honest with the audiences, the people we serve, to our creative muses? So while it feels crappy, last night I felt pretty lousy. But today when I woke up, I realized that's pretty intense, and it's pretty wonderful too, because I am not there anymore. I have worked through it. And while I may still backslide, just like grief isn't a straight line, growth and personal development is not a straight line either. So when things interfere and intersect with our outwardly seeming joyfulness, it's simply an invitation for us to go deeper and to be brave with our selves that are deep inside, with our highest selves. The second part of that, the prompt, which you may have seen in the overlay, is about who within you, what wisdom inside of you is asking to come out. And that was where some of that invitation to joy came through loud and clear. The wisdom inside of me saying, I'm so glad that you've noticed this. I'm so grateful that you're speaking up. I don't want to cry, but it was very, very meaningful. And so I invite you to recognize that when you have moments where your authenticity is not shining through, it's an invitation if there are moments when you are feeling sad, things are desolate, that may be an invitation to pause. It may be an invitation to quiet your inner voices, the not constructive ones. Quiet them so that either the wisdom inside of you or the wisdom from others, those moments of serendipity or synchronicity can come through. A voice on YouTube might speak to you, and you open your heart enough to hear instead of immediately shutting down. So with all of that, this morning there was another insight that I had that is related to this. So 2 short clips. Here we go. I gave my mother that date cube thing that you see there many years ago. I always really loved it, so when she moved from her Flagstaff home, she allowed me to take it with me. At the beginning of Vlogmas, I actually cleaned one of the date cubes, but then I stopped. Only 1 cube got washed because I realized I was washing away her home, my mom's home. I wasn't ready to let my mom's dirt go. Sounds so funny. I'm not sure when I will be. I'm just grateful that I recognized it so that I could give myself permission to hold on. So you've seen, look, there's some blue sky up here. Yeah, right there behind you can see it. So while there was a big storm overnight, there's light again. When I went outside to get my tripod out of my car, the church fairies, those are the people who do things around the house, someone had come and had got all the snow off my car, had made sure everything was safe and clean and clear for me and for the people in the neighborhood. What a blessing. What a blessing. My belief is that there are church fairies or people who love you, even who don't know you, circling around you all the time. And what I learned is that unfortunately, usually the reasons why these people don't show up is because I have put such a block around myself. And I'm thankful that now that's happening a lot less often. It takes practice. It takes inner work. It takes things like journaling, having the deep, important conversations, and being brave enough to do these things. Sometimes it gets worked out by journaling and then exercising and then walking and then having a conversation and then going back to the page. It could be painting. It could be dancing it out. There's so many different ways. I'm not one who will just say there's one way. Here's the one key. Not me. But what I will say is I'm so grateful you're here. You're here. I'm so grateful that we've had these days in a row to get to know each other better. And I'm so grateful for the week ahead, where our guest stars will be back. We'll be doing Grace and Grow again. We'll be doing Advent again this week. The Advent theme for the liturgical calendar is joy. So we will be stepping broadly into joy. And again, I think it's no accident that the sadness came up and that this exact message came up. Because half the time the plans that I make, what's a John Lennon quote? Life happens when we're busy making other plans. Well, I think that sometimes people like John Lennon are theologians and they don't even know it. So thank you again. I love this view. I love it. Okay, I'm going to sit still for a second so I can get a picture of myself for the thumbnail as well as the sad shot. So here we go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Phew.